That's what I'm saying. It's not realistic, is it? It's not realistic.
Bro, the film's about a soul falling into Jamie Foxx's body. What realism were you expecting?
Three, two, one.
How was you counting?
I was doing lots of spins, and then none of it was necessary.
Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the first ever episode of the Letterboxd 250 podcast. I'm your host Kyle. I am joined by
Big She's the father
and Simon.
And this is a podcast where we're going to be making our way through the Letterboxd 250 narrative films list. So, guys, what has your experience been with Letterboxd?
I'll go first. Then I guess thanks, Simon. But with Letterboxd, it's kind of gone through waves. My personal relationship with it. Really liked the idea of it at the start. Felt it got a bit too like competitive almost. I didn't like the aspect of like being like, I've watched more films than you. Some people said that. I don't know who was talking about treating films like a game and stuff, and just logging things to log.
We have no idea where we're going to be on the screen.
Simon. It's definitely. I'm pointing at Simon because, especially for all the audio listeners at home, I'm pointing at Simon. It's all about Simon right now. People logging it like a game, and I got off of it a bit because I was a bit like, you get so too caught up. But I enjoy it. I enjoy just tracking what I've seen.
You stopped giving films ratings, didn't you?
It's not that I stopped giving them ratings. I have given them ratings, but I don't like to do it straight away. I'll have to think about it.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll watch a bunch of films and then I'll go back to it and whatever. Like I don't put no pressure on myself. I might go back to it 7 months later. I might go back to it 7 days later and just start and I'll just catalog all the ones I've seen because that way you remember it more. The good ones stay with you, and like the ones that are just like good in the moment are like.
Also, we should say that your name's Sherrick because that wasn't me.
Yeah, Sherrick. I'm not. Well, I'm Big She's the father, but
And Simon, what's your experience been with Letterboxd?
So I already liked films anyway. So it was when Carl told me about it, it was I don't know. It was like finding treasure.
That's so cool.
Of like-minded people. So yeah, I do treat it like a competition because it is one. Films aren't a joke.
I forgot I told you about it. Sherrick, did you already have it?
Simon told me about it. Simon told me about it, but he pretended like it was his idea. He was like, yo, I found this great app. I never knew that you told him about it because when he presented to me, he's like, yo, I found this great app. You'd really like this. I was like, Speaking French now. I. Oui.
I remember literally a couple weeks before I found the app, I was making a list on my phone of Blu-rays I wanted to buy when I was older. That sounds so stupid. And then on Twitter, do you watch Pretty Much It? The people who do like reaction videos.
No, but I've heard of him.
Simon, do you?
Yeah, sometimes.
But anyway, he put up a picture of like a diary with all films in, and I was like, what the hell is this? And then I found it, and literally it took me like 2 weeks, and I logged every film I've ever seen. It took so long.
With that, actually, weirdly enough, the picture I saw, I guess before I was told about it, I did see people put pictures up of it and being like my top films of the year or my favorite films, and I'd want to see how they did it. So I thought they used like a Topster or something, but they didn't. It was the Letterboxd.
What did you see, the diary or the lists?
I saw like people put together the list. They'd be like my top 10. I like the way all the posters were like it was a nice sort of visual way for it. And as far as logging all the films, I did that as well, and it did take me a while to because you start remembering like this obscure Bollywood one I saw, and then I feel like I still haven't logged everything. I've seen a lot of stuff that's just not on the list. I
think what I did though that people are going to roll their eyes out is I log by release date instead of when I watch. Okay, let me make this clear. When I got the app in 2017, everything since like current films are logged when I watch. But if I watch a classic film, I will log.
But what counts as classic for you? Because they say
not released, like new releases. So if, say tonight I watched Ocean's 11. I don't know why that came to mind.
It's a classic.
I would log 2001 instead of 2021.
But what if for example, you saw Ocean's 8 that came out 2018? Would you log that 2018 or no?
I would log 2018 on its release date, but because I watched it when it came out, I would log the exact day I watched it. Does that make sense?
So what you're saying is Ocean's 8 isn't a classic because it stars women.
Chestnut checkers.
We're 4 minutes in, and we're
Play-
already.
You got me too.
Play like a king, not a pawn.
This is the true heist. Well, yeah. So before we move into the films, what are your like tastes in films?
Everything.
Yeah, mine's quite varied.
Everything,
I this is gonna sound very like redundant, but I like as because I think human beings are just like diverse people, and everyone like really likes all these different things. Anything can get your attention. Like, you know what I mean? That's the beauty of film. It could be like a period piece, or like something like The Favorite, for example, where if you just look at the concept of it, you're like, it's not really for me. And you watch it, and it's like this dark black comedy, and it's hilarious, and it's so interesting. That's the beauty of film. You can't do that with a lot of things.
Is there any genre you just don't go near?
I'll try anything. There's certain people whose opinions I trust. Simon, and then Carl, I trust your opinion as well. You'll recommend something, but a lot of it is I'm aware of the films. I know things that are coming out, and I know what I'll. It has to have I have to have a 10% interest in the thing. I'll go watch it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be like if someone goes to me, this is a space cowboy rom-com. I'm like, yeah. Send it. I was like, you got me a space cowboy.
Is that Cowboy versus Aliens?
No, that film is. I actually know. I was supposed to watch that, but I went to watch the Smurfs instead. I don't regret nothing. I don't regret nothing.
Simon, what about you?
Everything. Unlike Kyle, my walls aren't plastered. I mean, like Sharik with posters, but everything.
I don't have any posters on my wall. What are you talking about?
Behind you, what are those behind you?
Oh, blueprints and schematics. Yeah.
This really is the Ocean's 11 episode.
As a brown man, I can't have blueprints and schematics on my wall. Is that not allowed anymore? This is why they fired Gina, what's her name, Corrado, trying to get me like that. Yeah, wow. Another win, another tick for the liberal media.
I think that's the perfect segue into our first film. We are on number 250, which is the French film Belle Noiseuse. I don't know.
You got to let them know as well at the time that we're recording this.
The list
could
has
have
changed.
Yeah.
So we've got the list in the description. Even that's going to change over time. So maybe every 10 episodes we could do like an updated, like what films we've missed. Yeah. We'll figure that out as it goes on.
We're going on the one from, was it in end of January checked? No, it wasn't. It was February checked.
End of January, start of February. I think it was updated the 8th.
8th of February is the last time we checked it.
Yeah. So Simon, do you know how to pronounce this film's name?
Google translated it, yeah.
I can do. I speak French.
Go on.
Well, yeah. No. But La Belle Noiseuse, which is a beautiful nuisance.
A beautiful, yeah. Well, I've seen different names, like the beautiful nuisance and the beautiful troublemaker.
That's what I got, yeah, troublemaker.
The most literal,
like nuisance, isn't it?
Yeah, when you do it in French, it's nuisance.
And he even said like annoying or nut job in the film. He used a different term.
Yeah, to be fair, in my version, he did say nuisance. The one I watched.
Oh, because me and Simon watched it on YouTube in like 360p.
And I watched it in 720p.
Yeah. Let me try and read the synopsis. I'm going to stutter all over the place now. Former famous painter Frenhofer lives quietly with his wife on a countryside residence in France. When the young artist Nicholas visits him with his girlfriend Marianne, Frenhofer decides to start again with work on a painting long ago he stopped, La Belle Noiseuse.
La Belle Noiseuse.
That's the one. And he wants Marianne as his
wrong. Anyway.
Listen, who speaks French here, huh?
Not you.
J'ai joué le basket.
Sharik, you clearly have thoughts, so I'll let you go first.
J'ai mangé le water. I eat the water. No, I drink the water. Okay. What do I think of the film? I think. Okay. Our first. This is just first thoughts, right? Before we like break down to get deeply. I did not enjoy this film. I think it was one of those where like everyone says you're supposed to enjoy it. You look at the reviews and everyone's like you're supposed. Maybe it was a different time. Maybe my tastes had developed. I think actually the film we're going to talk about after this did the same job but better, and I'll make that point when we get to that. But
Yeah.
I thought it was over long. I thought it was. I think it had a similar problem to like Call Me by Your Name, where it was just so long. Like you know how Call Me by Your Name had those shots of the Italian countryside forever, and everyone's like, "Wow, so gorgeous." This was like it was somewhere in France. It was never quite made clear in the film where they were. It was definitely in France somewhere, like the south of France. And it was like, yeah, oh, it's gorgeous. But I think the best way to describe it is right. I was watching the film. I thought I was 2 hours into it. I was like, yo, I was like, is this? Are we getting somewhere? And I'd only watched 16 minutes. Then I started watching 16 minutes, and I was like, what the hell is happening? And it's not that I don't like foreign films. Like one of my favorite films, Love, Portrait of a Lady on Fire, if you're just using like the French example. And that was better than this.
Can I ask, because I haven't seen that,
Yeah.
are the plots similar at all?
Not in the sense about how this allegedly talks about creativity and all this and that, right?
Yeah.
No, not similar in that way. But that's another film that's very like not luxurious, but like takes its time and just showing everything that's happening. And it is like you know, in this one, you literally watch him paint and you literally watch paint dry.
Mm-hmm.
She does the exact same thing, but there's just there's something to that. There's like you feel it in the film. I just didn't feel it here.
Can we talk about those painting sequences? Because I've never seen anything more boring. Because it was available on YouTube and I watched it on my TV. If I watched it on like a laptop or something, you can get like 0.5 speed.
Yeah.
I would have done that during those scenes. I would have fast forwarded through them.
What killed me about it, right, was you know in the film Beard where he draws of a Wexler's mother. I so badly wanted, and I got so lost in my own head while watching this film because I just started thinking about I started responding to text people that sent me 3 weeks ago. I was so lost in my own head, right? I really wanted to, because he never shows it, like the actual version. I so badly wanted to be like a stick figure with boobs. He was just like.
Can we also talk about the painting that we do see? It's
ass. It's such an ass.
So bad. Yeah.
Northwest did better. Northwest had a better painting.
So, Simon, what did you think of the film?
Yeah, like it's immersive. Like I felt like I was there in the beginning, and most of it throughout. But just because it was pretty, it was so like I like slow burners. Yeah. And like he said, Portrait is a good film. I do like Call Me by Your Name, to be honest.
I like it as well, but I mean, I'll just give you an example.
Yeah, but like for a slow burner, it really is a slow burner. It really is.
My candle burnt faster than the film.
Days, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
It's very pretty though. Very pretty.
It is. I don't know how much of that gorgeousness you got to appreciate in 360p, but like what? No. I'm being serious. But like in 720, it was like, and I think the best way to describe it is you can put it on in the background and lose nothing.
Yeah.
Like
you can fall asleep and wake up again and be like, oh,
I still on. You're like,
I've not missed much. Yeah.
Apart from the fact that it's not in English.
No, I think the French kind of like helps put you to sleep because you're like, wow. You're like, no, because you're like, I mean, it just shows you the other world, yes, but it's not like how many 4 hours films have you guys actually watched? Just out of curiosity, like how many films have you seen that's like 4 hours?
On one hand, I can count most of them. I think like 3, 4.
I don't. What
5?
Like I can't remember.
What's King Kong? Remember the Peter Jackson King Kong? What's that?
Fire. That film was fire.
I don't think that's 4. Lord of the Rings was like 4.
Lord of the Rings go for like 3. That's 2.5.
First one or second one? I don't know.
No, it's 3. 3 hours for the director's cut of King Kong, but they don't feel like 3 hours.
I think this is the first 4-hour film I've ever seen. And next month, the Snyder Cut is out, and that's also 4 hours.
But my thing is, with Snyder Cut, right? I feel like, I know people are going to joke on it and be like, whatever. I'm one of them who's like, oh, Snyder, whatever. Like, I'm excited to watch it. No, I'm like, whatever. It's like a film in it. I want to watch it. I'm looking forward to it.
It's not. There's nothing different.
Yeah. There's no excitement for me. But I'm more excited to watch it than I am this. But my thing is, I feel like within those 4 hours, it'll be interesting. Because his what was it? Batman vs Superman was like 3 hours 10.
And do you remember most of Batman vs Superman? I don't.
No, I don't like it. But I mean, it's okay, but whatever. Yeah, but it still flows very good. That's what I'm trying to say. Like you said, Peter Jackson's King Kong. That's 3 hours. That don't feel like 3 hours.
Yeah.
16 minutes felt like an hour and a half in this film.
In this film, I'll admit, I liked the opening.
Opening was good.
I liked the premise. I liked the story they were setting up, but they they don't do anything with it. No. And all the conversations are they'll do something and then have the conversation, not have the conversation.
They just do it at the same time.
Yeah, and then there's an example. Have you seen Snatch with Guy Ritchie?
No.
You've seen Snatch, haven't you, Simon?
I haven't even seen Call Me by Your Name.
Say Snacks.
Snatch. Got the Guy Ritchie film.
Oh, I'm just hungry then.
Have you seen Snatch?
I have, yeah, long time ago, yeah.
I watched a behind the scenes thing, and Guy Ritchie says the point of film is to go from A to B as quickly and as as entertaining as possible. And there's one scene where he's like, "That's it, I'm coming to England." Puts the phone down. He's on the plane, takes a shot, and he's there, and he's like, "Sit down, you big bold fuck." And that's done in 5 seconds. In this film, there's a scene where they turn off the lights in the room. They don't say anything. They walk up the steps. They get into bed, and then they start the conversation. It takes 40 seconds, and it's just and it's not even that pretty to look at. I know the quality wasn't the best on YouTube, but it didn't feel like it was 360p. It felt like it was 720p. But I was never "Oh, that's for sure."
Can you imagine if Guy Ritchie directed this film? Let me see a Snatch.
But there was they introduced his sister character 3 hours in, and then
who was the sister?
The boyfriend had a sister who came to town.
It was dark hair. Short.
I don't remember.
And then the painter's wife had a friend come over for one conversation, and I was thinking, why don't the boyfriend and the painter's wife talk to each other instead? Because they're going through a similar thing.
You never see the boyfriend's art either, because you're told that he's such a great artist, but you never actually see what he does.
We don't see the painting that was painted.
No. That was definitely but even then, it was so good, because it wasn't the whole thing with the film that his painting was so amazing. It would break his marriage if he just kept doing it. That's a dumb plot. It's such a
If they were a similar age, then I could see.
I couldn't figure out how old she was either. In the film,
she was late 20s, 30s. Either style, I think.
That you know who that is, by the way, in that film? That's Jane Birkin. And they named the Birkin bag after her.
Really?
Yeah, because Hermes makes the Birkin bag. There's not a company called Birkin. Hermes
I know who makes that. Her. Is she really the person?
Yeah, she's Jane Birkin. So what happened was she was on a plane with the guy who works at Hermes, one of the.
Oh, I remember this story. So that's the lady from that story.
She pulled her bag and it dropped. It's her. And you know how I know this? Because I Googled it while watching the film, because I needed something to keep me interested. I'd rather watch that film. Wow, how did they make the Birkin bag? But my theory is, because I looked into all the reviews, and everyone talks about it as being this masterpiece. And everyone's like, oh, it's about creativity, it's about this, it's about that, it's about this, that. I think, very genuinely, because this is long open spaces just to think, I think that people gave it meaning that it didn't even really have. Because if you give anybody 4 hours and just watch paint dry, you know how people watch that Bob Ross paint, and they find it very calming and they can think.
Yeah.
And when you have films like that, everybody always talks about this is a film about creativity. Everyone always says, because they can't think of what is really, they're it's about creativity and this and that. And you're it could be about anything. It could be about the ravages of aging. It could that film could literally be about, you could give it any meaning you wanted to. It's about the pursuit of creativity. It's about how love matures. It's about you do, because it's 4 hours of nothing.
Didn't it feel like they just didn't know how to edit? It didn't feel like it was a choice. It felt what's that? How do we edit?
It felt like the film reached the clip and they were like, another one.
And then there's only one cut that I can remember, it's when like I think he falls over, he drops something, and she looks up, and it cuts to, like multiple angles of her cutting up, and it's like because of how bad the editing was before, it doesn't feel like it's a conscious choice. It's like
What sort of killed me about that as well, and this is what I found out in my research afterwards. He made like another cut of the film, which was
the director's extended cut.
no.
The Snyder cut.
It was like the Snyder cut. It's just a bunch of like someone plays Hallelujah over it again. Hallelujah.
You actually see the blood on the canvas.
What they said was, I think the other cut, don't quote me on this, there was like 2 hours 10, and I find that would still have been too long for this film.
And do you know what? I remember getting 2 hours in, and I think that's like either like the first or second painting session, and I honestly thought to myself, you could have done this in 40 minutes. They could have had the introduction scene, they meet the painter, then there's like an unnecessary like scene where a guy falls over because he's a bit drunk.
Can I be very real with you? I clocked out then.
You zoned out.
No. That's why you say stuff like the sister care or whatever. I'm like, did she?
Yeah.
Because I was like, because for 16 minutes I sat there like this. I was like actively watching and I was into it. And then for the other, so I don't even know if I should log it as watched. Technically, yeah. Technically, it's watched. But it was like then it was like this, just like tapping on my phone. Like, oh. I could just hear French. I just heard French. Just I don't know. I was like, yeah.
If this was in English, I reckon I would have went on my phone. But because it's in French, you have no other choice but to look at the subtitles. I actually didn't find it as boring as you seem to. I remember like never being bored out of my mind, but I remember just thinking like, what's the point? Where's this going? What is it trying to say? And it just felt like nothing to me.
I can't remember the last time anything has bored me as much as this film did. And I think it's fair. Everyone's got their own opinions and stuff. I really can't. Even stuff I've like disliked in the past. Like I hate to go there, but like something like Joker. Like no. Even then, I was like enthralled the whole time.
Entertains you. Like
let's not go that far. But I was enthralled. No, but like I was into it the whole time, and I've seen Joker like I saw it twice. I'm in it. I was in it the whole time. Even watching on the second watching this. I really can't remember the last time I just snapped out something, and then I just wasn't in it anymore.
Because it makes sense why it's like this. Because when I googled the director's name, turns out he's from the group of the new wave French people from like the 1960s, and the films back then are like very slow. They're just like this. So
No. I will disagree. I'll tell you why. Agnes Varda. I'm gonna bring in R.I.P.
Yeah, okay, that's one out of like a bunch of people.
But like they're talking about French New Wave and stuff. She had like a similar film talking about yada yada whatever. You seen Cleo from '95?
I think so, maybe.
She had a film called Cleo. Now, master, great film. So it's a similar like nothing really happens or whatever, but it's so good. And I think that's about like 2.5 hours or something. But it's just, I think. Especially as like a male French New Wave director and stuff as well. I don't know why I did this. He is male, but like as a male French New Wave director, people give you a lot of like pretentious points, if that makes sense. Like if Tarantino had a 4 hour cut once upon a time in Hollywood, everyone's like, oh, it's a mediation on how everything used to be, whatever. You have a certain power as like a man. Because it's not even about luxury. Sorry, I know I could go off about this film. It's not even about luxuriating in the feeling, because like the best film, one of my favorite films ever, and I know Simon agrees with me here, In the Mood for Love.
Oh my God.
That film is all about luxuriating in a feeling. Bro, that film is like, and that film's 2.5 hours or something, isn't it?
Yeah. It's 2 hours.
But you don't feel like 2 hours. And it does so much more than this film ever could. And it's gorgeous and all that stuff. Like, this film's beautiful as well. Don't get me wrong. There's some really like, the beginning I thought was really beautiful. I really liked how it all looked. And then when he was in the studios, it looked like, and I never looked up at it and was like, this is, bad direction.
Yeah, the best parts were between the painter and the subject, like in the studio. They should have spent most of the time in there.
Well, it doesn't take until like they don't talk to each other until like the third or fourth session. Yeah. Like literally the first session is like half an hour plus of him drawing like mediocre drawings. So
it's true. That's definitely very true. What would I rate it if I had to rate it? I can't. You know what it is? I can't even give it. Is it a personal rating or overall rating?
personal to you, like not like if you won.
1 star. I think it was overly pretentious. I'll give you a quick little sum up.
Yeah.
I think it's overly pretentious. It's overly long for no good reason. And I personally did not enjoy it, but I thought it was beautiful. The performances were great. 1.
Simon?
Yeah, so initially I gave it 3. Like, it's good. That's what 3 means to me out of 5. Like, it's immersive. The setting's beautiful. And however, like, for a slow burner that I like slow burners, but like I said, it's not the type of slow burner like A Bright Summer's Day, which that's like 4 hours long. But there's so much that happens in that, and it's very slow, but there's so much that happens. It's not comparable to that. So
how does it make you feel?
I'm gonna drop it from, like, now that post film clarity's kicked in, I'm gonna drop it from 3 to like 2.
Post film clarity is a very real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm giving that a lot of 5s. I had to think back there. That's why I think about it now before I give the review. But
2, yeah.
But how did it make you? I'm curious though, because you analyzed it as like a film critic and you gave it the whole, which you can do. But how did it make you feel, the film? Because what film is about. Film makes you feel stuff.
Like, it pissed me off at the end because it was doing good towards the end. Towards the end, it was getting better. They were arguing a lot. They were having the fights. It was getting much more interesting. And then the picture, like, bro, what? It just ruins it, man. Like, I could have drawn that myself.
What would you agree with my statement that Being 1993 is a better film than this?
Being 1993.
Being
Mr. B.
Yeah, Being the movie.
I haven't seen it in so long.
Yo, Being the movie. I used to have that on video. Great film. When are we getting to that on the?
That's higher up on the list. We'll get there again.
That's 2. That's the one. It's Kyle. What do you think?
So there were points where I was watching it and I was like, this is okay. Like, I'm not hating myself for watching this. And then I think
I hate myself.
What is this
point, I was like, this is a 2.5. This is a 2.5. And I thought the ending is going to make or break it. And the ending just is, I can't remember the ending. It just
Kyle was sat there watching it like this. He's like, no, I don't hate it. I don't hate
Is
it.
that scene from what's
Da Vinci
what's
Code.
Tom Hanks film?
Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, Da Vinci Code.
Kyle just what's
Isn't that Paul Bettany as well?
Yeah, it is.
and he's fully white.
Yeah, pale.
White.
Pale, yeah.
Oh, that was Paul Bettany. Oh my god, sorry, I just tapped it. That was Paul Bettany.
It is, yeah.
Well, yeah, so like I said, I was watching, I wasn't hating it. I was like, this is a 2.5. Then the ending happened. I was like, why did I watch this? Apart from the fact that it's part of a podcast. So I like the idea. I thought there was potential with the idea. I think it would benefit from a remake. And I do think...
I don't think it is a remake. I think it's just a cut it, bro.
I was going to say, it was 4 hours. I genuinely think you could have trimmed it into like under 2 hours with the footage you've already got. I don't think you have to
the Carragher cut.
And
Yeah, Warner Brothers on the phone.
and honestly, I'd give it a 2 out of 5. I didn't hate it as much as Sherry, and I didn't.
That's true.
Simon seemed to get more out of it than I did, but for me,
How did it make you feel, Kyle?
nothing.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
If anything, uncomfortable.
That's a good point.
Did you not feel it a bit? It was a bit exploitative.
I did. That was the reason I gave it such a low rating. I didn't even go up to 2. Is I felt nothing.
Yeah.
I just didn't care. I couldn't tap in. I found that.
Yeah. But a film with a lot of soul is our next film. I could have come up with a better segue. The next film is Monsters Inc. No.
Shall we do the drum roll as you introduce it?
If you want.
Ready?
Soul.
That's terrible.
Joe Gardner is a middle school teacher with a love for jazz. After a successful gig, he suddenly gets into an accident that separates his soul from his body, and is transported to the U Seminar, a center in which souls develop and gain passions before being transported into a newborn baby. Sharek, as you went first this last time, you can go first again if you want.
Oh, I thought you were go last. Like,
I'm only joking. Yeah, Simon, do you want to go first? What did you think of Soul?
I want to start with the two things I didn't like.
Start straight with a hater. See, Simon was like, "Yo."
Simon was waiting for this.
Come on.
It's not big. It's just like, okay, so the plot hole of letting Joe being the exception allowed another chance.
Do you want to expand? Because I kind of agree and I don't agree at the same time.
Because without it, there would be no story in it. But with it, it messes the whole logic story up.
When you say the exception, do you mean he was the only person to fall over the edge?
No, he was the only one allowed back in behind the accountant's back.
No, but he was the only one who
wanted
to go back. No, but he's the only one who wanted to go back. In the film, everybody else makes peace with it.
But there's no rule. But the rule is it doesn't matter. Once you're dead, you're dead.
Are you on about when Graham Norton allowed him to go through the hole?
No, he's on about right at the end of the film. They open the hole, and then they say you can go back if you want to. No, it's not that they made him the exception. They gave him the choice. The choice was always his.
He was rewarded because Soul, number 22.
He called it Soul because Soul was.
Think about that for a second. She's number 22, which means she's the 22nd soul that was ever created.
That was so genius because you know the number they say before her. They're like, now introducing Soul, 40 billion, 20. The number was so crazy.
So the fact he managed to get her to leave, they were like, let's throw a guy a bone. So they threw him the biggest bone like anyone could throw. But the problem with that is I don't think that was the right ending for this film.
Yeah, but I was reading up on it because again, I had to be prepared for the pod. What's his name? Pete Docter, who like directed this and wrote it. He had multiple endings, and they had a version where he accepted the death and went, and they had a version where they had so many different versions. They had like you saw 22's life afterwards. Why he liked leaving them at the door because you don't actually see if Joe takes the offer, wakes up. You don't see that. You don't see him take the offer.
You don't.
Well, you don't see him take the offer, but you'd assume he does because of the narration. He's like, I'm going to live every day.
No, but even then, yeah, I understand what the narration sort of implies.
Yeah.
But the reason they had it specifically be there without seeing him do the thing is the audience can make up their own mind. Because when they say live, you still live in the afterlife. They're still living. He could have become a mentor in the great beyond. He could, you know what I mean? There were so many options. Me personally, I do think he came back to life. And I understand that kind of contradicts what... I don't think that was a bad ending.
Yeah.
But I do like to argue with your guys' points. They did leave it very open-ended. I watched all of Soul and I was completely locked in and I enjoyed this film. But moving forward, you guys watch your points. Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
I think when it comes to Pixar, you kind of expect that gut punch now. You expect like that's the moment that like is going to stick with you. And I think they wanted that to be the piano scene. And it like I felt nothing during it.
I cried. I cried. I cried twice. I don't even like jazz. I love jazz, by the way. I thought the most radical thing the film did was like this. The spark doesn't make you who you are. I know how you guys use cinema as your personality. I know you guys were definitely watching the film. Like, wow, film is my personality. Film is my spark. Letterboxd is my spark. So dumb, but
like the logos there. It was like the Letterboxd colors.
You know what it'd be for you guys if you guys were like in Soul. If you were Joe, you're probably imagining you go see your whole life, right? And then it is you watching Joker for the first time. This Simon. I don't know what he was watching. Lahane and his little laptop. He's like, wow, film's my spark. But like, dorks. Like, no, obviously, I love film as well.
Aren't you the one who collects Blu-ray discs?
I don't collect Blu-ray discs.
You do.
They collect me. No, but no, sorry. It's just them aside. I thought the most radical thing the film did was when it was like you're not defined by what you like as a person, because then I think that's a good message, especially for like kids, adults. You know how many adults you see who just define their whole personality by what they are. You know what I mean? And people are multifaceted. As I said I think I said that before, but like, you know, humans inherently are multifaceted people. And I think this film, I thought it was really interesting. Like, like the fact you can have conversations like this about this film.
Yeah.
And this is just where the quick link I said I was going to do with La Belle Noiseuse, right? Is they were telling similar stories about creativity and this and love and all this other stuff, but Soul did it so much better. And it was more interesting, and the film made more sense. And Simon, what is your second thing you didn't like about the film?
Oh, he didn't deliver the gut punch that I wanted. That's it.
Oh, so you both had that issue then?
Yeah, it wasn't as like moving as it could have been. Like
Yeah.
he got a second chance. That's not really how many people actually do get second chances in real life. So I don't think it's that
Quite a few, honestly.
realistic.
I mean, but that's ridiculous. You can have a second chance any day. You know what I mean?
It's not realistic though. Who actually has the opportunity
So you don't believe people can
to try again
change?
twice?
You know, yeah, I was gonna say, so like, what did you so you try something like one time, and if it doesn't work for you, you're like, no, it's over. I'll never
Most
skateboard
people,
again.
most people do, yeah.
But that's what the film's trying to combat, bro. The film's trying to be like,
That's what I'm saying. It's not realistic, is it? It's not realistic.
bro, the film's about a soul falling into Jamie Foxx's body. What realism were you expecting? What's this magical realistic thing you're expecting in the film? Jamie Foxx is a successful jazz musician in 2020. What were you expecting this film to tell you?
It wasn't successful. That was the story.
No, but like he's successful at jazz enough to do this.
Yeah, he was good. That's it. Yeah.
Like he's not Questlove, bro. Weird enough, Questlove was in the film, but like, you know, it's a ridiculous. You're like, no, not enough realism for me. The film ends with a soul falling to earth, entering a body. What do you need, bro? In this film, Gandhi, Abraham Lincoln, Mother Teresa, God knows how many other people, right? Are all like,
and Graham
you suck, bro. You suck. You're whack. This. Where's the realism? George Washington's slave owning ass wasn't there, but you know, we move. What is your realism argument? It's so fucking stupid. That's the dumbest. I bet your hate ass just sits there every week watching One Division. Not realistic. Not realistic enough for me. We really need to see.
Why are they in a sitcom?
Why are they in a sitcom? Yes, this magical reality warping witch. Why is she in a sitcom? I don't get it. I just had a question for the group here.
Yeah.
This or Inside Out? What do you prefer? Just out of curiosity.
I actually don't remember Inside Out at all.
I just had to add it to my watch list again.
I liked
watched it on a plane, so I don't know if I got the full experience. I remember really enjoying it on the plane. I think I cried watching it when I was on a plane.
The Bing Bong scene. That's the only scene I remember.
No, like I don't think I even cried specifically. When you're at that high altitude as well, you know how it is when you're on like a plane. Everything feels a bit more
Emotional.
Yeah, like you know, I cried. Don't hear shit on planes. Like on a plane. I think I cried at the end of the Dubai, and I was like, "Wow, Marty!" I was like, "I'm so glad he got his Oscar for this." Like, I didn't even think, you know, watching films on the plane is a weird, and like everything's funny around the plane as well.
Yeah.
Like I saw Daddy's Home 2, and when I watched that on the plane, you couldn't tell me nothing about Daddy's Home 2. And I saw it around Christmas time. It was on, and I was like, this was whack. But I thought the higher comedy was that thermostat scene. You can like walk all over you. I was like, ah. But
what about this or Coco? Because I think they're pretty.
Oh,
there's almost like a trilogy, isn't there? Of like
that's why you're the host.
No, I didn't come up with this. I've seen before, like those three almost make like a trilogy of like the afterlife and like the way it's like the soul and the mind. Like there's some connection there.
If I had
in a broad sense, not literally.
Yeah,
Coco was just about revenge.
No, it wasn't. You did not. You did not take the right themes away from Coco.
Coco's about revenge. That's what's so good.
If you watch Coco and you were like, this is a gripping betrayal saga, you are a crack.
Monsters Inc. is about how like evil
apologies
corporations.
to any crackheads. Apologies to any crackheads who are listening if I've offended you and you're
you keep using the word. Stop saying it.
Yeah, Simon definitely watched like Monsters Inc. and this is like how evil corporations take advantage of them. Remember?
Simon watched Monsters Inc. and was like, Randall was right. If they do that, they're more efficient. Yeah. Simon's such a dork.
Randall's getting his revenge.
Simon's like, what they did to Randall was an outrage.
Would Simon even watch it? It's not that realistic, is it?
Oh god. Oh my god. How could it be
Wow.
realistic, bro? How could it be realistic without Boo? Oh, I don't think it was realistic that they managed to hide Boo the whole time. Because clearly she would have frozen in the snow.
Do her parents not
There's-
care about her?
There's no way, bro. In the time, right, it took them to do all of that film that her parents didn't come and check on her. I don't think that was very realistic. No, but was the monsters realistic enough for you, Simon? Was the laughing gas realistic enough for you? I want to answer your Coco question. Sorry, because I think you brought up a really good point. And if I had to rank them, Coco I put at the top. Because I think about Coco often. I don't know about you guys. Did anyone think about Coco?
Yeah, I rewatched Coco.
I love Coco.
Day.
I found myself thinking about it. I've only seen it the once, also in cinemas, but I think about it a lot, and I've watched scenes from it time and time again because I'm thinking about it often, and the music's there and it always sticks with you. And I enjoyed Soul, but I just watched it, and I love Soul, and I've been thinking about that since I watched it as well. Don't get me wrong. Inside Out, I think I definitely need to rewatch. But if I had to rank them, Coco would be the top, then Soul, then Inside Out.
Yeah.
I think Coco had the music as well, man. The music really... It's like Moana. Moana is not exactly the best Disney film, but the music really keeps it in your head.
Yeah, Coco felt like a classic straight away. Even though I enjoyed Soul a lot when I was watching it, I haven't thought about it as much since they'd probably want me to. If that makes sense, because they clearly do want to like get a message into your head. And there's like certain films that like I'll think about all week. And like,
did you cry at Coco? I think the cry test is always, because again, going back to this new barometer I've established in the podcast. How did it make you feel? I just want to know how things make you feel.
No, I don't know if this happens to anyone else. Films don't make me cry that much. But do you ever try and describe a scene or think about a scene and then you get like a lump in your throat?
I only really cry at films.
Do you cry in the moment?
Yeah, but when I'm thinking about it afterwards, like, and weirdly enough, the emotion was to... If I ever need to make myself cry, I had to make myself cry one time for something. And I can't remember what it was. Somebody didn't believe I could cry on command, and I can't, but I could if I watched that scene in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, where like all the I'm crying thinking about, I feel the tears coming just thinking about it. I don't know why this works for me. It might just be my brain.
What scene?
It's the one where all the Guardians are being pulled out, and the Drax is like holding Mantis, and the oh my god, my eyes, I gotta stop. And it's coming. God, it's that scene when it's that scene like where Peter Quill's like, they're all trapped. Ego's got them all like trapped in the thing. And this is why I said Guardians 2 is better than Guardians 1. I think it's a better film. But Ego's got them trapped. And they're hold on. Ego has him trapped. And he's gonna kill all of them. Gamora's going, Nebula's going, Drax is getting pulled out. He lifts Mantis up to try to save her. And then Peter Quill's like, he goes, you shouldn't have killed my mom and smashed my Walkman. And I know that's such a corny line. And he flies, and oh my god, the tears about to come. I can't look at you guys. But he comes full. I don't care. Listen, I'm a new masculinity. But he comes in and he punches him in the, and as the punch lands on Ego, he goes, and then they all just like, jeez, I only admit it. Continue talking.
That scene hit me in the soul. Speaking of soul, final rating, Simon.
4.
Cherry.
Not a 4.7, Simon. Not a 4.8. 4. Wait, Simon, you guys say why you rated it 4?
Yeah,
give it final.
Yeah.
Final opinion. This man's so checked out of the whole podcast. Maybe episode 2, man. Episode 2.
It's bedtime.
Is it, bro? It's party just getting started.
It's a beautiful film. It uses jazz as a vehicle to explore existential crisis of the human condition, as Pixar always does, in typical Pixar fashion, and it does it in an intriguing way. Even if it uses reality to such an extent, it doesn't provide a gut-punching realistic ending that I would have enjoyed. So I'll give it.
How did it make you feel?
fine. Fine. Not every film makes you feel something.
I mean, it
The
should,
hell?
bro. It should make you feel no happy, angry, sad. You should feel something when you watch it.
You go through the whole range of emotions.
But yeah, Sherrick, your final thoughts?
I'm gonna leave it a 5. No surprise there, considering how hard I went, for Pete Doctor. But no, I really did think about this. I was debating this for a while. Like I take this podcast seriously, and I couldn't find any flaws with it, and I found myself thinking of it in good ways. I understand why you didn't, Kyle, and I get what you're saying, Simon, about certain aspects of the film. Maybe not the realism, but no, but I understand. All jokes aside, I understand both of your points valid. The validness of it. I just enjoy everything. Do you guys like the actual soundtrack? I thought the soundtrack was great as well. Like just the Trent Reznor.
Even that didn't stick with me like as much as like the Monsters Inc., the Toy Story.
Not in a way like
had a soundtrack.
No, not in a way where like I'll go listen to it after. Not like that. But I mean, in the film, like as a sum of its part, as everything, in this big melting pot of. It's like jazz, baby. It just works. It's like jazz. Someone's playing a little bit over here, a little bit of souls over here.
But this is gonna sound like such like an obvious like comparison, but like the La La Land soundtrack, like those notes like stick in my head. I cannot remember every single chord from
that soundtrack but that was a musical as well. I think that's the difference. This film is not a musical.
Uses it like a backdrop. The music
it is backdrop. Like Coco is.
Uses Mexican culture as like the backdrop for you could do a similar story without the Day of the Dead, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because music, that's the thing. The music was the focal point of this. Music's not the focal point of this. Is as Simon put it, revenge was the focal point of Coco.
It is. Put a noir filter on it and watch how it goes.
The black and white cut.
Yeah.
The Mangold edition.
It's a revenge film. You guys on awake.
What was the best revenge film of 2017? Logan or Coco?
Coco.
Was it Johnny Cash's hurt on the Logan trailer? Yo, put that over the Coco trailer.
Like the Hispanic version.
I'm hurt again. and then you put "Remember Me" over the Logan trailer.
Remember.
Yo, that shit would work. 5 for soul.
I would give it a 4, even though I probably highlighted the negatives during this review. I thought it was really good.
Well, how did it make you feel, Kyle? I got 3 questions. How did it make you feel? And I want to know.
I was entertained when watching it, but I don't think I felt what I wanted they wanted me to feel, if that makes sense.
I'm with you.
Yeah, because Pete Doctor doesn't know how to handle realism. You guys aren't awake, man. Go to bed.
Okay, let's move on to the next segment, which is where we talk about what films are popular this week and what we've been watching.
Ooh.
Simon, you have a good memory. What have you been watching this week?
So, Malcolm and Marie dropped just for Valentine's.
No spoilers.
I watched it alone.
No.
Only Malcolm, no Marie.
Hey,
What did
Judas
you
and the
think
Black
of it?
Messiah. Oh, Malcolm Marie. I think it was good. That's it. But that's as far as it goes for me. I was expecting a lot more.
I can't tell whether we're in the minority because we both liked it. I liked it more than you did.
Yeah.
But it's been more negative than anything, I believe.
Because a lot of people think he's like, what was the criticism? The main criticism was that he's complaining about not being able to complain or something. And then people are complaining about it. And like, if you watch the film, you can see that he's saying that. Oh, it's so confusing. The criticism doesn't even make sense to me.
Him using characters as like a vehicle to get his frustrations out, which is why people don't like it, but it's exactly why I like it. Because
in the film, he even criticizes what people criticize him for doing, supposedly doing. Yeah. It's like, did you watch the film?
Yeah.
Playing 4D chess. He's like,
we'll move on because we know Sherrick wants to watch it, and I won't give context to the line. There's one line about Barry Jenkins in this film that makes absolutely no sense.
No sense. Even out of context and in context, it's the same.
It makes no sense. And it was like, because I was enjoying it because he was name dropping like real directors, and I was like, yeah, I get that, and I get that. And he said that line, and I was like, what does he mean?
It makes
Such
my
a
no
bad
God.
line.
sense at all.
Is
I wonder what Barry Jenkins for. Carry on.
John David Washington good? Because I really like John David Washington. I think he's shaping up to become.
I'm in the minority here. I thought he was better than Zendaya in this film.
Oh, and Zendaya's a talent. You know, like she's.
His performance is better. Her character is a better, more likable character. But I think I liked when he was being a dick because he performed it really well.
Oh,
When there's a
okay.
bathtub scene that's like, oof.
I will watch because I have been a toxic ex previously, so
I would not compare yourself to this relationship.
I'm gonna watch it and be like, yo, that's me. I'm like, I don't understand what everyone's saying. What he did was wrong, bro. Because
Well, I see representation.
Future sat there watching it like it's a comedy.
I have a film I watched yesterday that I haven't seen anyone talk about, and if anything, it weirdly links to Soul. It's an Amazon original rom-com called The Map of Tiny Perfect Things, and I'm not kidding. It has the same plot as Palm Springs about two people caught in the same time loop.
I've heard of that, like a YouTube ad or something. Like,
is one of them thingy the Red Power Ranger?
I'm not sure. I know the girl.
No, you're thinking about the Broken Hearts Gallery.
Oh, okay, the one on the sofa
is Catherine Newton, who's like she was in Blockers. She's going to play Scott Lang's daughter in Quantum Mania.
Fire.
But they're caught in a time loop with each other. They're caught in a time loop with each other, and then they decide to go around town and find like the perfect moment in every spot around town. Like look at the little things in life.
It's not the serial killer one with the Vince Vaughn, is it?
No, that's freaky. I need to watch
haven't seen that. I need to watch that.
That's
got a similar plot though. No, there's no time loop. Sorry.
It sounds really corny, but the montage of the little things that they notice around town does a better job of, well, that's like a cool thing you wouldn't pay attention to in real life, but in a film it looks cool. You know, like the scene with the thing falling from the tree in Soul. It's that, but like better. Sharek, what have you been watching recently?
Yeah.
No, I'll be honest with you. Film wise, I've been lacking a little bit. I've been watching a lot of The Office. One Division, obviously, I watched that weekly. I've watched a lot of The Office. An episode of Samurai Jack. I'm watching Samurai Jack at the moment, so I'm getting through that. But like, I put it on hold for a second to watch The Office. But Samurai Jack is, it's a good show.
Amazing.
It's so like the way they get away with doing some of the most violent like things I've seen. Like he chops all these machines because it's machines, so it's all oil. In Kill Bill, where he made that fight in the first one, the fight at the Thousand Blues. It's called Thousand Blues. It's the House of 1,000 something. The house. What you know where she has that big fight, right? It's the House of something. It's been a while since I watched it. But
yeah,
classic. They had to put it in black and white and it to cover up because you can't show a lot of blood on. And this show was on Cartoon Network. Kids watched it. I'm watching it now. I watched it as a kid. I was like episodes. Like, God, that's Samurai. Go. And now watching it as an adult, I'm like, yo, this is haunting. I'm like being alone in the future as the greatest evil you ever faced. But it's also hilarious and like it's so good. Samurai, I forget his name now. I don't want to disrespect him. Not Gene. What's his name? Taroskovy. Something like that. Gendy Taroskovy. And he also directed Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3. I've only seen the third one of that, but I really enjoyed the third Hotel Transylvania.
Was the third one good? Because I've seen the other two.
I haven't seen the other two. I saw the third one. No context. It's so funny. It's so funny. Like genuinely, it had no right to be as funny as it was.
There is some good like slapstick humor in those. Like
it's just hilarious. There's a scene because he's obviously a vampire. He slides across the floor, pops up his collar, and then he goes. That was hilarious. It's like Despicable Me is hilarious too. Next topic, Kyle. Throw on the beat, blood.
Okay, so the final segment is there's only 3 of us, but I was gonna say someone can get an extra film. You know how like Letterboxd has its 4 favorites? Let's give 4 recommendations.
Ooh.
So we'll get one each, and if someone's got an extra one, they can chuck it in.
Okay.
Sherrick, do you want to go first?
No, I just spoke last. There's somebody else. Simon, go.
Simon, you go first.
Speed Racer. Because I remember when it came out, they did a toy with McDonald's, I think, and I wanted to be the character.
What drive was for people? Was that what Speed Racer was for you?
What Drive was for what?
You know what Drive was for certain people, where they like wanted to become the character from Drive, wear the jacket. That
exactly
was
what for me.
But with Speed Racer,
Exactly.
Speed Racer is better than Drive. You know, I'll say that.
Sherrick, what about you?
I'm gonna recommend Valentine's Day was the week before this episode, but February we're still in a similar vibe. I'm gonna recommend Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is talk about a twofer, double feature, Speed Racer, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Kyle, can you keep the vibe going? Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, obviously it's got Jim Carrey, it's got Kate Winslet at the I'm gonna say it's the best performance I've seen either of them do, and Jim Carrey's got GOAT level performances, Truman Show, Mask, like even his comedy stuff is like legendary, but Eternal Sunshine is one of the most visually inventive films I've seen. It's got one of the best stories I've ever seen. It's got such a great simple twist on what is just normal life, because you know Charlie Kaufman, the god, it's you know Kaufman, whatever you want to call him, man. But it's such a good film. I don't want to spoil it for people and give away plot details. It's best to go into it cold. Is it romantic? If you are, you know, alone and you feel terribly alone this Valentine's Day, it might make you feel better. Kyle?
Clerks.
So we're going Speed. Wait. So what? How are we gonna rank the 3? Speed Racer, Clerks.
Oh, we rank them?
No, for our feature, if we're programming it.
Oh.
We'll go Clerks first because I imagine it's the shortest. But I'm only recommending it because Sherrick hasn't watched it, and he takes a mick every time I recommend it to watch it. I watched
Kevin Smith.
I watched Zack and Miri for the first time the other day, and I just realized like Kevin Smith's films, they're not always the best, but like you can tell how much like passion he puts into them. And like Clerks is one of the few like films, like you know when people say, "Oh, that got me into cinema," and that made me be a filmmaker. That did it for me because it was like anyone can do it, and like the black and white aesthetic, like the performances, just everything works when it shouldn't.
Was watching Clerks your spark?
Yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was.
Look how we came full circle. Are we giving a 4th recommendation? We all talked about how much we love Coco. Let's just say that. Coco is our 4th recommendation. That's the gang recommendation. Get your homies together, sit real close, make sure you cough or touch all over their faces, feel them nice and close near you, spit in their mouths, watch Coco. No, obviously don't do that. Be socially distanced, be safe. But you guys get together and watch Coco. It's on Disney Plus. Easy to access, great film.
So if you want to know what film to watch for the next episode, it will be in the description below. I've been Kyle.
I'm Sharek.
And I'm Simon.
And we were the CineLads. Enjoy.